Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. Today we are back with Rover Evolution, Surviving Triton, and I think today we're going to do something either fantastic or stupid. So let's get started. Alright, so we need to move this refinery onto our rover. So how we're going to do that? Probably with a certain amount of pistons, maybe hinges, and things like that. Or we try to plop it on and then rebuild it. I don't know. At this point, I think we would probably suggest to not do it this way because the way it's set up to have like the large cargo containers and anything like that won't suffice. So what I'm thinking, and that's what some of you have also commented on as well, is to flip it over so that we put it to the side like this. So then the refinery will kind of slap dab in the middle, and then we have the mods on the side. So I'm thinking of doing it that way because it works out for the large cargo container as well. So let's just do it that way instead. So we can get rid of all this junk right here. Plug in a large cargo container right here. We can then put on the connector right on top of it, and then we can slap on the refinery and its connector. It's a little higher than I really want it though. That's the biggest problem, and it may or may not pose a problem when it's that high up. So if anything, it's gonna be at least this much high up, so that's not ideal actually. So I think the original plan makes a little more sense, but we'll see how this goes. So instead of having the connector point in the refinery like this, we need to flip it over. We basically need it to be kind of like this, right there. And then have a tube or conveyor junction or whatever that we can get our hands on and just put it there so we can flip it around. So I think that's kind of the better way of doing things, potentially. So that should work out okay. I'm thinking we could just put a conveyor junction. Yeah, we should probably just do that. So we're set on that. We need to get at least this thing up and running. We don't have to get the large cargo container up and running just yet. But yeah, if we put it this way, it is a little higher than I would expect it. It's gonna sit pretty high up, which should be okay. We'll just design around it, I think. Not much we could do about it in that sense. Alright, so next thing we probably have to do is line up the vehicle with this. And luckily the sun's out, so we now should have some solar panel power, some hydrogen engine power. We're killing it pretty fast. But at least we're getting some power out of here. We should probably use a battery of some sort, if anything, but we don't have that. And we are out of power. So the solar panel is not enough to get this thing going. Ooh, that thing's freaking out. Alright, we need to get some more ice really quick, I think. Yeah. So we can grab ice here. I think I dropped a whole bunch of ice down here. And what's interesting, I got 2 unknown signals popped up here. What did I do to deserve 2 at the same time? That's kind of interesting. Here we go. Alright, we're gonna get a little bit more ice, and I guess we could just get it from the surface. Alright, I'm not sure what's going on with this thing. It's just freaking out. So what we're gonna do is power cycle it. Or park it. Just park it. And I think we're okay. Stop freaking out. Okay, so it's not enough power to do anything. To make stuff. So that's fun. So yeah, we're pretty screwed there. I'm not even sure if I have enough materials to make what I need to make to get this thing transported over either. So let's just at the minimum try to get that done then. I was actually just trying to move that vehicle over so I don't bump into it. So I guess that's not happening. Okay, so I think we are straightened out here, right? Okay, so it is going to be a little tough, but we could try it out and see how well this is going to work. And trying to think of using several pistons to reach over, grab this, pick it up, and then plop it right onto it. That's likely going to be the roughest thing to do, but we're going to give it a shot. So I think it's going to be, we're going to have to put it starting from here. The other option is to just plop it on top of it to rest on some small grid light armor blocks, but that might not be the best thing. It's gonna probably break something when I drop it down. So yeah, we definitely gotta kind of lift it up and pull it. Actually, you know what? Why am I doing it this way? I should do it, yeah, I should do it slightly different. And that's gonna be to get it from the back, from the rear. You know, hit it from the rear, basically. I just realized something. We could turn off the refinery, save some power. And there we go. We make batteries. That's all we needed to do. So we can just make a small battery for now. We don't need something too crazy just yet. I guess we'll just plop it up back here. So that should give us just enough power to unpark it and move it at least, I think. Why can't I drive this thing? Okay, got it to work somehow. I hit propulsion on and off and then it worked. It might be because it's quite heavy. Yeah, it's quite heavy. But I got it to work a little bit. So we can at least situate this thing here. Get it charged up with some batteries in some form of fashion. I think we can, I don't know, I got off the seat, but I think we could turn on the refinery now. Hopefully continue to refine, especially from some stone and iron and all that stuff. Maybe a little less cobalt. Yeah, we don't need the cobalt just yet, but that should be fine. Alright, so now we got enough space. Yeah, definitely doing it from the side. Probably the worst idea in the world. So let's just do it from the back. So we'll just have to maneuver it carefully. Like so. I'm just gonna probably run right into it sooner or later. But we can just back it up this way. There we go. Almost there. Should have moved everything a little bit further away. But it's okay. We're gonna get a decent amount of space here to do this. And I love how this thing stops on a dime if I needed to. So now the other fault I have here is that I do have it twisted around the other way because I was expecting it to put it down in a different way. So I do need to find a way or a solution to flip it over onto the other side. So how am I going to do that? It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, a rotor could do it, but I don't know if one rotor could rotate this whole entire thing or not. It might. It might not. Alright, the best thing to do is actually... We're gonna have to use... yeah. A rotor or so. Hopefully a rotor will be able to be more than enough to flip it over. I'm not sure. Alright, so I highly doubt one piston's gonna do it, but we can try it out for now and see where that goes. And it looks like we're gonna link a ton of different pistons together actually, so let's see how we can get this done. Alright, so we're gonna do, I guess, one piston here. Probably not enough. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's gonna be enough. We're gonna have to adjust as we go, I believe, in this case. But if I do 2, I think 2 is more on the safer route. Let's just do 2. And probably not gonna work out exactly what I was thinking, but I wonder if I could just lift it up with the piston right this moment. For an example, we just did it this way. This will be kind of our initial test, I guess. And we gotta find a way to rotate it too. That's the thing. So if we can lift it up, then we can rotate it. Just a tad. Somehow. Hopefully. And of course we need plates. Alright, so we gotta weld that up. We also need to do some kind of piston system in the front here so we can lock it down to the floor as well. Otherwise, this whole thing's gonna flip over. For sure. Alright, so I'm just gonna reverse this one. Oh. Oh. Shoot. Looks like we clanged it up a little bit. So we need to get rid of this. There we go. I think I attached the magnetic plates onto the rover instead of the piston head. So okay, so I think this is glitching out a little bit. So let's get rid of this here. Let's give it a spacer instead this time around so we don't flip the whole thing off. Okay, now we add the plate. And we should be able to lock it in place from here. We might lift it up a little bit, but it should be alright. Shouldn't be a big deal. Alright, reverse it, and it's lifting up quite a lot actually. So that's not what I want. So let's just... Ooh, this is a spray of snow right there. Let's just reduce the piston here. So we could drop it a bit more. I don't know where it should be. 1.2? Yeah, 1.2. 1.3. That would do. That's fine. Alright, we gotta remember that's there. But that's gonna hold our rover down a little bit. So when we lift this thing, we're not gonna run into too much issues. Let's see if it actually lifts it up. If it can lift it up, then wow. But if not, then that's not gonna be good. Alright, so if we did reverse and then reverse again. Oh, one can lift it up. Interesting. Okay. So this is doable in some form or fashion. I need steel plates though. So let's see if this works. I'm gonna add another piston really quick. And it may just be right over here. And this is just adding piston over piston over pistons. Just to see if this works. And I'm gonna add a rotor here. And then we can add a magnetic plate or a boot or a landing gear. Yeah. So I have a landing gear here. We have a rotor here. And then we have the piston. Alright, so we're in business. Okay, so this is gonna get a little tricky, but what we're gonna do here is this is gonna be very, very tricky actually, because it might break. So let's just reduce the maximum distance here to 1 for now. Reverse. And we're stuck. Great. Okay. Built a little too close to this thing. So we're gonna expand it there. Get rid of that. Alright, there we go. So 1 is not enough. Okay. 1.2. Ooh. 1.2. Nope. 3. Alright, we're good. So 1.3, we're good. This one, I'm gonna have it unlock. It's not auto lock either. And actually, we can just get rid of it for now. Okay. So here is the moment of truth in terms of spinning. Okay, so spinning it while it's on the ground may not be the best idea, actually. Ooh, we should have brought this thing up a little bit more. But if I want to see if it kind of worked or not, we can do this. So rotor. Alright, so here's our rotor. And if we spun it, oh, we can spin it. Alright, it's working okay. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Let's increase the torque a little bit. Let's see if we can spin it just a tiny bit more. And I think that's all we can do. Okay, so I was able to spin it just a tiny bit. So that's not too bad. Should definitely lift it up more to get the spin going a little bit further. I should have put a piston over here. But we can do, a tricky thing here. And let's play around with more pistons and things like that. So that's what I'm going to do right here. So we can just do it this way. And I know we can use merge blocks, but I think I'm just going to use magnetic plates or landing gears. Let's just use landing gears. Probably easier that way. Covers a little bit more. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reverse this thing and connects to that, and then reverse it back, and then I'm going to disconnect this. Oop, there we go. So now we got to lift it up a little bit more. Not a lot, but a decent amount. But I think we should be able to rotate it all the way. And this storm makes it even harder to see anything. So I honestly don't even know why I play with storm. But it's a survival type of option. But very pointless, to be honest. Alright, so I can't operate the rotor from here now because it's a separate grid. Alright, this was a dumb idea because now I don't have any energy to move this thing, so this was really dumb. I could drive it around and let it it's actually rotating on its own a little bit for whatever reasons. So honestly, I could probably just drop it and it might actually flip over. I think that's what's gonna happen actually. Let me try it. And nope, it didn't flip over. How's it sitting like that? That's actually pretty funny. So yeah, I can't drive because that thing's stuck. I guess we could just flip it over the old-fashioned way now with some fake O batteries by weight. There we go. And that's gonna do it right there. Okay, it just kind of landed in place, so that's actually perfect. Did everything wrong but worked out at the same time, so that's a plus. Alright, so from here is where we need to figure out how am I gonna get this guy up into the rover. Yeah, so I think what I need to do is get this thing up and then in. So to get the up and then in, we may need to do most of it from here. And that's what it looks like it's gonna be. So I don't know, I gotta calculate the height and everything too. So this may and may not be able to do it. And I think this whole thing should be a piston just in case. So I can calculate the height and stuff a little bit better than having it like this. Otherwise, we might have to drop it, and the moment we drop it on top of it, guess what? We're going to lose the whole entire rover. So let's not do it that way. So we're gonna add a couple pistons here, which should be okay, I believe. Let's add one more. No, let's not do that. Alright, so we just add a few to the side, and hopefully I have enough materials for all this too. I may or may not. Alright, so this is not gonna work out this way, because it can only go a certain length. So we have to do it differently. We have to do it kind of like this first, I think. And we can do like 3 or so, or we could prop this thing up. We could do it that way, actually. Yeah, why am I wasting my time on this? I'm not gonna do this. This is just gonna be really, really bad. So I should prop this thing up. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And if I'm gonna go with the rules of small grid, I'm gonna prop it up with small grids. It's not gonna be a big deal. And then I can just back right into it. So I think that's probably the best option to work with. So I don't need this. I should have thought about this a lot sooner, actually. So I could just basically find the right spot for it. I can't see a thing. But the idea here is basically we're going to prop this up. And we can prop this up in a couple of ways. Pistons, basically. So how we're going to do that? So we're going to find a way to put some piston points right up here. And then we'll extend it pretty far back. And we should be good from there. So we could build it off of... Yeah, we could build it off of the Rover right here as an example. So we could do something like this. Put a piston right here. And as always, we could do a mag plate right there. We're going to need batteries too. So this is going to be the tricky part. So what we're going to do is stick the mag plate onto this thing right here. So we're going to do reverse. And there we go. I think that was a bad idea, but it's fine. There we go. Now we have a means of a small grid piece there. And we could pretty much build around the whole entire thing now. So we can build like this. Oh, okay, that's fine. We actually need to build it a little bit further back anyways. I think we're gonna do this. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just say 11. And then from here, we can go back some more. And if we want to be on the safe side, we can add another piston, attach another magnetic plate right there or not. It doesn't really matter. But what we can do is also go around it from here. And then stick some pistons and a battery or so. A battery might be a bit of a waste, but not much we can do about it. I hope we have enough materials for all this, which we probably don't. Right over there, so we're good. So now we can put some pistons down. I think we can do 1 or 2 on each one. Looks like we could do 3. Do we need that high? Potentially. Alright, so pop on 3. Oh, we can't put 3. We can only put 2 for now. Let's see if this works out. If not, we'll just throw some blocks on the bottom and see how that works. So we'll do 2 on 2. 2 here. And 2 here. And we'll just throw on... We don't need to put a magnetic plate on the bottom of it, of course. but we do need to add some blocks to get some additional height. And if we're scared about it's what's it call it? Stability, we can add some extra blocks here to get the 3-toe chicken feet looking like thing. So that should probably hold it just a tiny bit. Not the best, but it's gonna work. I honestly don't think 2 pistons is gonna be high enough to lift it up for where I want it to be, but I should have dropped it down a little bit or brought it higher. Yeah, I think I should have brought it higher actually, so I could put more pistons down instead of just having this many. But should be okay. Alright, here's our battery. We can now use our pistons. The other problem here now that lies is I can't lift up the thing without any controls. I don't want to lift it up one by one, so obviously we gotta do something about that, so that we need a controller panel or something like that, and that would be another piece that uses a computer, which we don't have. So we'll just, I guess we can queue it up just to make that, right? Yeah, let's make a computer. Let's make several computers if we can. Yep, there we go. Okay, hopefully that works out. We could just put it right here. Perfect. We'll do a pistons. Let's reverse it. Here we go. And I want to say and hope that's high enough. And guess what? It's not. And it's all tilted. Why is this so tilted? I guess it's not even. Alright, we're slightly off. I think we're off by a piston or two. So if we can get it to go up further, that'll be awesome. I actually have it even. I think the magnetic plate here is not even, I guess. I don't know. We're close. So if we can get it to go higher, that works too. So what we can do is, why is this one? It's leaning a little bit. So luckily I did add these little holding points here. We needed one more piston. That's how how bad that is. All right, so should we drop it down? Can we drop it down one by one? Probably not. Okay, that kind of settled it down a little bit. Here, I think we could do this. If it holds, and I hope it does, we can do basically remove one and then add a piston underneath it and hope for the best, basically. So I'm gonna take out this leg here, add 2 pistons, 1, 2, and then add our supports, and we should be okay. 1, 2. I think we can add. Yeah, we're gonna add a 3rd layer. Can we add a 4th? No. No, that's fine. So here we could do that. And add our support here. Yeah, I think this is gonna work out. There we go. And then we just gotta do the same with the other ones as we drop them. So this one is gonna drop down a little bit. Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to do this without damaging anything, because it's gonna damage something. Okay, so that's fine. I think if I cut the front one, this is gonna drop, but it's not gonna drop significantly, so we should be okay. So we're gonna do that. I was a little bit wrong. It did drop pretty significantly, so you gotta be careful of that. That was really scary. But I think we're okay. Luckily, I made it long enough in the front so that it does support it pretty decently. So here we go. We got that there, and I think we added 2. Yeah, we added 3. Hopefully we can add 3. 1, 2, and 3. Barely. There. Okay. So we should be good to extend this out. Oh, can't extend it too much. It's fine. As long as that one extend out okay, we should be okay. Oh, it's evening out a little bit. So we're kind of maneuvering it or moving it a little bit somehow by putting more and more little blocks on the bottom. Okay, we're almost done here. I think we just gotta do the same with the back 2, and we gotta extend this a little bit. We don't want it to fall back too much. I don't think it's going to, but it's possible. Alright, let's take this out. Alright, nothing happened. I think the front one's more important than the back one's in this case right this moment, but it is teetering, so that's not a good sign. And again, we just gotta add the 2 underneath it, or 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Perfect. I think we're getting somewhere. So this would be a lot easier than doing what I was initially trying to do, which was to lift it from the rover itself, which is a really bad idea. So luckily, it came to mind to do it this way instead, which is not a very traditional way of doing things, but hey, it works out, so not that bad in terms of an idea. Alright, I just let that drop a little too hard. Okay, I think we're good. We're coming along. We have one. There's the last one to put on, and then we finally have the moment of truth, and we can slap on this refinery that we desperately need to connect to our rover. Okay, I'm just gonna extend it out just a little more, just in case, so nothing breaks. Alright, so when I go to controls this time, I'm gonna not do reverse, but I'm gonna do extend. So then everything, all the pistons extends, right? Okay, we don't have that option here, so it's fun. Well, we just do positive, all positive numbers, so 0.5, 0.5 for everything. Yeah, that works. 0.5. Okay, did I get everything? I did, yes. Okay, now, once again, this is going to be the moment of truth. If I drop too hard, we're going to break something. So, that's not going to be fun. So, let's just see how this goes. Alright, so luckily I made it wide enough so we can just do this. But it's going to be a little hard to get that kind of directly underneath it right in the middle. I think that's it, right? Well, let's just back it up into it and hope for the best here. I can barely see a thing. We are off by a tad to... We gotta go a little to the left a little bit. So we need to do this. Alright, that was a little tricky. Would be ideal to get this kind of perfect. Because if it's not perfect, guess what? That refinery is gonna sit slightly off for a very long time. Unless we do the strength of it to be a little stronger so it'll fix itself. But that itself is going to be a scary result at the same time. So, yeah. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. We have to get it really, really close to make it fit exactly where we need it. Otherwise, it's going to be sitting like that, like tilted slightly. Which is not something we would want, actually. But it should be okay. I mean, Doesn't have to be perfect, I guess. Alright, that's the best we're gonna get it for now. I think once I get it down, I can adjust the strength of it later to make it fit just a tiny bit better. But you know what? If we wanted to really get it to sit exactly where we want it to sit, we should probably put some things down, like steel blocks here, or armor blocks here, to just kind of straighten it out, or make sure it's straightened out. That's for sure it's going to break something. So that's touching it. There's not a lot we can do about that, actually. So it's not going to be the straightest thing in the world. That's not what I want, though. I need it to be... well, I kind of want it to be perfect. Something's going to break when I move this, I think. Okay, I think that's the best I can get it, and that's looking fairly straight. So that's not too bad. Alright, we're going to park this guy. We're going to turn these connectors, or this connector specifically, into a not used for parking. We're going to do the same thing for this one to not used for parking. And we're going to lower this guy down slightly. I think we lower it by... ooh, maybe half a piston or so. And we should be good. Yeah, so we're gonna name these ones. So this one's gonna be... we're just gonna do piston A. That's fine. And we're gonna do the same thing for everything here. Piston A. And the reason why I'm doing that is so I can group it and control this one specifically first for now. And that way we can bring it down slightly. So our piston A's, these guys right here. And we could do minimum distance. Let's just say 1 for now. Let's cut it in half. Yeah. And then we just bring it down and hopefully we'll be okay. I can't see a thing. So maybe adjusting it there is not the best thing. So let's just put a... we need a control panel somewhere. Let's just put it right there. I think that'll work. Okay. So now I can see a little bit better here. Okay, so now if we did reverse, we're getting right there. Okay, so it locked in, but it did shift a little bit. And we should be okay. Okay, I think we could go minimum distance just a tad more before we lock it. So let's just do that. We should get it to touch at least, or try to get it to touch. So minimum distance we can do 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, and hit it. Okay, I think we're good here. Yeah, we're good. I am gonna lock it. And that is gonna be it. There we go. We're locked. We're in place. We have a refinery stuck on here now. We do need to get this thing welded up. So if I can get some interior plates and a display, we should be good. And we are looking good. We got a connector connected. We have a refinery. We should kind of support this thing a little bit with something like wheels or something like that. Can we put wheels on here? How many wheels can we even put underneath this thing for the support? Well, we want to use a big wheel probably, or this one at least. 1, 2. Oop. They're all lopsided, so that's not good. That's all could fit. So it's not even gonna touch. That's fine. That's not what we need then. I wonder if we could do... well, I was thinking a connector, but no. We should just do some kind of magnetic plate situation if we can. with pistons with less torque. So if it bounces, it bounces. Should we do that? It sounds like a terrible idea, but I think we could, right? Let's just get some extra support on here. It feels like a clang thing to do that I'm doing right now because it is on a connector. So this can be a really, really bad idea. Potentially. And I'm suspecting it may be, but I'm gonna kind of take that risk at the very moment to see how it's gonna react. And afterwards, we also need an assembler. And I didn't really plan for that just at this point, did I? And this thing is really tall. Yeah, that is pretty tall. I think if I had it the original way, it would be a lot lower. So I'm not sure how well this is going to perform. This whole rover is going to perform having it this so high. If anything, I got to make it lower and drop the large cargo container that's here. And that's pretty high, actually. Huh. I mean, I have it already here, so maybe I do drop it now instead of leaving it this tall. The only problem I'm gonna have is moving items in terms of large grid and everything like that. But I think if I did a medium cargo container, we should be okay. I don't know. Okay, so instead of doing all that, in order to get the large port hose, we're probably gonna have to use a conveyor junction like this here. And I guess we can offset it this way, but then I don't even know where we're gonna put our large cargo containers. Maybe we'll worry about that a little bit later. So we could just do it this for now. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to do this for now and worry about large cargo containers and everything later. So I think we put that there. Is that right? And we put this here, and that looks like it is. We're slightly off, which is okay for now. That's good. So we put the connector here, I think, right? The conveyor junction that's here, it's gonna give us the large ports that we need, but we just gotta figure out how we're gonna utilize the large ports for the large cargo containers later on. I left it on the side, so maybe if I extend it out a little bit for large cargo containers, that can work. The thing is that I need it to go up a little bit, just a tad. Or tube it to the front, or whatever the case is. Either one works. Alright, so it looks like we are... Why is it so off now compared to what it was before? It's fine. I think when we connect into it, it's gonna generate a different kind of force anyway. So what was that? It was like, I don't know, 0.015 strength before? Is that what is on here? Yep, it is. So we'll leave it as that. Let's just change this again to not used for parking. Well, that one's fine. This one we need to change to not used for parking and leave it as is. Okay, so we just gotta drop it a little bit more from here. So I think piston A we can drop significantly now. We can drop it all the way down, I think. Yeah, and that magnetism should adjust it a little bit to the side. I kind of want to put more strength in it so it adjusts a little bit better. But of course that would be extremely dangerous. But I might take that risk in a second. What are these piston tubes? Are these all the same? No, they're not. Okay, so I was hoping that was going to be the case, but it's not. So let's just change this one because we need to make it go down just a tiny bit more. Okay, so what we're gonna do is bring this down based on piston B's now. So we're gonna have to change the minimum distance from 1.8 for now. So we reverse this and we're almost there. So 1.7 is perfect. Okay, that's all we need to do. How come it seems like not all of them reacted? No, it did. Okay. So another way to kind of realign it up a little bit better is to use the strength of the connectors. So that does get a little bit scary at times, but I think this one's a little loose on the ground, so we should be okay to do so. So what I'm going to do is change the strength on this guy first. Let's change it to, let's just say 10%. And this one, I'll slide it slower, I guess. I don't know. I don't probably need to slide it, but there we go. I think we just aligned it pretty well. Yeah. We shifted it over towards the middle. It's ever so slightly twisted. So, you know what we can do? More pistons. And didn't realize the magnetic plate down here actually locked. So that's a good and a bad thing. So let me unlock this thing really quick. We should do not auto lock and unlock. Alright, so this thing, it's doing what it needed to do, but it's not giving it a cushion anymore. It's just, I guess it is kind of giving it a cushion. Yeah, I guess we could do that, and we could lock it as is later down the line, I think. Or not. Well, this is actually what's keeping it from not falling, because I just realized I didn't even connect it. So, that's a good thing that I had that there. So, yeah. Alright, so what we're gonna do here, actually, let me get back that strength here. Did I change the strength on this yet? We have 10% here. We're gonna put 10% here as well. So put 10%. Oop. Okay, so that adjusted a little bit more because it's not locked onto that. But we do need to shift this thing over just a tiny bit. And to shift over just a tiny bit, I think we may or may not have to add kind of like a slope block here. No, do we want to do half block? Would a half block fit in between there? It might. Let's just do half block. We'll put that there as bumper. And here's what we're going to do. A piston. I'm going to shove it just a tiny bit. And we're going to control this pretty well so that we don't get too crazy with it. So we're going to change the maximum distance, right? So we reverse it. We're going to slightly nudge it as much as possible. So that's just great. That piston wasn't even long enough. Alright, since it wasn't long enough, we'll just add blocks in front of it, if anything. Here we go. Oh, that's a little too much. Let's just do it this way. We just need to shove it just a tiny bit. Not even that much. Yeah, just a tiny bit. So we gotta figure out what that tiny bit's gonna look like in terms of this piston pushing maneuver. So we're gonna do reverse and slowly slide the bar here. And see if we can push this thing over. And yeah, that's not doing a thing, is it? Let's just increase this and see what that's gonna do. Okay, so that's not pushing it, so that's not good. It may be because it's sitting on that, or this is a little too strong. But it should still be able to rotate just a tiny bit at least. I think a large piston will push it a little bit. Oh, it's not pushing it because it's stuck on that. So that makes sense. So if we got rid of that, yeah, I think if we got rid of that, then we should be okay to push it. Makes sense. The only problem here is that we need to find a way to connect to the ground. So, do we lift the foot up to connect to the ground? I guess we do. Reverse here. And we'll just put a plate down here. No, no, no. I always forget to get rid of the build vision menu when I do that. So let's reverse this thing. Perfect. That's going to lock onto the ground. Or not. Oh, it is, yeah. And we can get rid of this right over there. Okay, so that's off. So now I hope we can push it. If not, then it is what it is. We're just gonna leave it as where it is. Okay. I shoved it, but I think it's shoving the whole entire the whole entire rover now instead. So that's not working out. That's unfortunate. Oh. I did get it to move. But it's also really poorly. Let's get this back. And I think I got it. Kind of. That's looking good, actually. I think that's straight enough. Okay. Once again, it's still a little tall, but probably better than what it was before. It would definitely would be better, much lower too. It's too late now, I think. But if I were to lower it as much as I can, I would have to lower it towards the bottom of this without some kind of connector. I mean, or a large port. But you know, I forget. There's a large port up here too. So I could have just utilized that instead. Huh. Yeah, I think I might have to drop it one more time, actually. I think I could do it by connecting it on the rover now. Should be fine with it. I should, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is basically use a piston here. I guess we could drop it down that much, yeah. And we have to connect, maybe a landing gear will do it. Yep, a landing gear will do it. Okay, so I think that's a good way to do it. Okay, that's good. And just to be on the safe side, we gotta put down a landing gear or magnetic plate here too. So that way we can glue it to the floor and not have to worry about it kind of falling apart on us. Alright, so from here I could drop it down. What am I doing? Why? I can't drop it down like this because it's not extended. So I don't need this. What am I thinking? I don't need two pistons, obviously. Just needed one. Alright, so we're gonna lift this piston up. Where's that reverse? And that looks good. We're gonna attach this thing. Locked. And I think that's gonna hold it, and I hope it does hold it. So, moment of truth. We're gonna get rid of this connector. Ooh. That dropped pretty bad. Because of the strength thing. So, let's do this. Pistons Shared inertia, just in case. Yeah. Alright. We're gonna get rid of this piston. Okay, that's looking good. We could add a... Yeah, I think we should add a magnetic plate here too, just in case. We'll edit this one to not auto lock, not use on park. That's fine for now. We'll get rid of this. I hope it don't fall on us. I really hope it doesn't. Oh, we are good. Yes, perfect. Okay. So, to get it leveled, I'm gonna build a couple blocks here first. So, in order to get it really level to, or get it lower as possible, we can do it either this or lower by 1. I think we can do it lower by 1. So it's gonna be kind of like that and connect into it. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do it that way. So we're gonna figure out the connection points on this from the upper side, if anything. So this should work out okay. We just now have to drop it down ever so slightly. Yeah. This is not gonna be very fun to drop this one here. I don't even know what this is called. It's piston 13. I'm just gonna call this the drop. And I guess we can just throw on another one of these control panels. So where's our drop? Okay, here we go. We're gonna reverse this, but of course we're gonna do the minimum distance. We're gonna slide it slowly. So we're gonna slide it slowly. And you know what? Hold on. The connector, I didn't even complete it. It's one thing. And the other connector's strength is a little too strong at the very moment, so we gotta be careful about that too. So the strength, let's just bring this back to the 0.5. We can get this thing welded up first. Now we'll slowly bring it down and hope for the best. So our drop piston here, we're gonna do minimum distance until we see yellow. Alright, I don't know what just happened here. We're a little stuck. It's dropping. I think we're good. We could probably drop a little bit more, but I don't think the piston's holding up well enough to drop it, because I'm supposed to drop at 0.1. I think it's holding because of the strength. Maybe. Okay, I increase the strength on the connectors over there. Oh, I think because we're pretty much hitting that point right there, so I think it's gonna leave that bit of a gap. And I think that's gonna be it. We're just gonna lock it from here. We have to. And we should be good and stabled. Yep. That's looking good. Let's get this foot off the refinery. And we can turn this on. Hopefully it doesn't create any issues, but we are now locked, so just in case it pops off, we have some security there. And we are good to go, it looks like. I think we are pretty aligned because it's fairly straight looking at this way. If I look at it from this way, yeah, I think we did a really good job here actually. So we got it attached. And we got it and on it to be pretty low. So we can add mods here to even out the sides. But this is what we got so far in terms of the Rover and evolving it. Let's see if it drives well. I mean, I have a whole bunch of stuff kind of in the way, but okay, that's not going to work out if this piece is gonna hit it. So let's get rid of that. I have a bunch of steel plates all over the place. So let's drive this thing off of the thing here. And just kind of let that fall. And there we go. The Rover looks kind of weird now. But we're going to have to design around this whole refinery, because that's the biggest piece there. The assembler, which I think we can just use, not this one, but the generic one. Or the original one, which is this. If we had to, we actually could do 2 assemblers here. We could do one here, because of the port that's being right there. And then one here. And that covers that up. And then we gotta figure out the rest in terms of the large cargo containers and all that stuff. And if we need to make a trailer for this thing to make it a little bit longer so we can maneuver this a little bit better. But for the time being, look what we got. A large grid refinery attached to our current Rover. So there you go. The almost impossible became possible. Not really, but we got it done. And we did it in a different way than we initially thought of, but this worked out well. So we're eventually gonna stick on, and I think I'm gonna do it right now actually. We're gonna just pop on the assembler right here, and it has room for mods and everything like that in the front. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in the front. And we're good to go. I don't know if we have enough materials for all this, but we can always try. But if not, that's going to be for another episode. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Rover Evolution. You guys know what to do. Hit that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.